Well, everybody, it's your boy, JR Reviews, back at another video here to bring you. Today I'm gonna bring you another musical review, which I haven't done in like a while. Honestly, I'm not like I've told you before. I'm a big musical fan. I like certain musicals. I'm not an all musical fan. I don't always like a musical just because it's a musical. I have to like the song or like the story and stuff. But this musical, it's not just that I like the story and I like the song. It's one of the few musicals I've ever read or listened to or watched that's actually based on a true story and it actually happened. Um, it's called Newsies and it takes place in 1900, but like around 1899, 1901, something like that. And it's about the strikes. Well, it's during the rainout time. It's about the strike between the for the people, like newsboys, the people that would deliver news, like stand outside of a building to extra read all about it and give you the headline of today's paper. You would go up to them, give them the paper, give them some money, and then they give you the paper. But it was a strike that happened around 1899 between these people because the four biggest newspaper people in the time around the world, actually in New York, were William Randolph Hearst, Joseph Pulitzer, and I forgot the other third guy, but those were the two biggest. And they had raised their prices for the papers to be sold to the Newsies, which are the people that pick up the papers, then go buy them out papers, and then go to call. Get money by selling the papers. They will raise it from 60 to I think it was like 50 something cents to like 65 cents, something like that. And that was like so much money to them because they're poor and they're like what? Like every 10 papers we sell, like what the fuck, right? Like we could barely make ends meet as it is. Now you're asking us to sell more or pay more for the papers alone. So they end up going on strike, and this is a musical about their strike, and it's one of the few strikes that I've actually found interesting that it actually paid off in the end. They end up getting what they want. They also brought light to a lot of social issues that were going on in the city. For example, there was a reformatory, which you don't know that is. It's where they would send bad kids, like bad boys and little girls. Mostly it was boys, though, to these reformatories to get, after they commit a crime, to train to basically it's like a prison for kids. It was before juvie, and they highlighted that the warden at this one reformatory that a lot of people were going to was abusing his power and status as the warden. So you're basically, not only are you supposed to be treated a little bit better at these reformatories than you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be treated like a prison. You're supposed to be treated like a prisoner, but like supposed to be given good food. Supposed to be given health, whatever care and shit like that. This warning was all the food that was supposed to be going, like the good food, like potatoes, chicken, collard greens, whatever you want to call it, freaking steak, a Reuben sandwich that was supposed to be going to the children that that were under his care, basically, were going to him instead. He was eating it, eating full meals where they were eating, let's say, maybe lucky to give like a good, like half a meal in a day, maybe a meal, and their meal probably would be leftovers from whatever he didn't want to eat, or a bread and soup. That's about it. Not to mention, they got sick, and he didn't spend money on their health. He didn't spend the money he got from taking all these kids in to get the health for a medicine. He would beat them up daily. Did a lot of bad shit to these kids. They also brought light to that, and a bunch of other stuff. And this is one of the first actual strikes that actually worked. And on this strike, there was also a trolley strike that was going on with trolley workers not refusing to work because they were getting underpaid as well. So, anyways, the thing about this before is they weren't a union. The Newsies weren't a union at this point in time. They just were like, no, we need to, stand up. Like, the only way you can be treated fairly and your demands to be heard if you're a union. Problem is their union isn't even a union. So they're like, listen, we're a union. We say we're a union. That's what I liked about them. Really. They're like, fuck it. we're a unit if we say we are. Anyways, the musical personally it follows the same storyline. Um, Personally, it's a pretty good musical. There's a lot of songs, but I picked a few of my favorites just to highlight to you. Now, the first song is literally the second song of the actual musical, and it's called Santa Fe, and it's sung by the main, I guess you could say the main character in a way. Forgot what his name is, Jack Kelly, who is actually a fake name. The reason why his fake name is because he actually was one of the people in the reformatory. But he supposedly escaped with help, technically, from the mayor of the time, the governor of the time in New York, Theodore Roosevelt, which I don't know if it's true or not, but it was supposedly what happened. And he got caught stealing some food because he was in there because he was going to die. And one of my favorite lines in the musical and also in the movie is, "My dad taught me to survive. So if that means stealing food and forget my morals, I'm going to do that because I'm going to try to survive." A lot of people don't know is that people back then were like, like food is actually a great. These people, some people in 1899 in New York and other big cities were poor as fuck. They actually needed to go, like, if they got injured at a job, they got fired. There's no way. So your kid had to go out and do work. That might be a newsie, working in a factory, and then what if that kid gets into hurt because that could happen. And there's a great line in the musical that I really like, and there was only in like one of the parts of the musical, but I thought it was really good. Next one, so Santa Fe is the first song, the second song in the musical, and it's basically talking about how Jack Kelly wants to, doesn't like living in New York. He hates it here. He's always on the run because the warden's always looking for him, and if he gets caught, he's gonna get right back to the sent back to the reformatory, which is even worse. And he wants to go to the Santa Fe, New Mexico, because no one knows him there. It's gonna be a fresh start. It's a small town that later on will become bigger, obviously, and he just will have like people. He's like always heard how it's like everyone loves everyone there. It's like you'll be like it's like a wholesome place, and he wants to go there. The problem is he needs to get enough money to buy a train ticket to go there. The next song would be "Carrying the Banner," which is talking about it's all the Newsies talking about what their job entails and how their life is. Like one the way it opens is awesome. It's one of the Newsies is grabs a cigar out of a thing, and he's like, these kids are like 12, 13, 14, 10, 11, 9, 8, 7, and a 10-year-old or 11-year-old is smoking cigars. Hey, that's my cigar. You just steal another one. And the reason why back then, I'm going to say this now, a lot of people smoked, even kids smoked. It wasn't against the law. And actually, in the musical itself, there's a movie musical part of it, like the movie for it. There's a scene where the kid's reading a newspaper while the cigar's in his mouth, which is, to me, was funny as fuck, but whatever. And the song goes, it's a fine life. The carrying the banner, it's a fine life. And they talk about how their job, like go to this, and this place, go to any bum barber or whatever. They probably sure can read. Thing is, I don't think usually a bum couldn't read back then, but whatever. Hey, our life would be easy just as long as these people are okay with paying some money to get their news, to get the news. And back then, they really wanted to get their news on the front page, their movement on the front page, because if you got on the front page, you were noticed by every single people in the town, in the city. They would notice you. But the problem doing that is you have to be, first of all, union. Second of all, have someone actually believe your statement, and the fact that they're rebelling technically against the newspaper tycoons. They're not going to be on the front page except for one page. The Sun something ends up publishing them later on in the story and in real life, I think. he was an auto he was a photographer slash journalist who takes pictures and publishes them. The next song I really like is called "The Bottom Line." It's sung from it by the guy who plays Joseph Pulitzer, and it's talking about how they need more to make more money from the papers, so they're gonna raise the paper money to give it to the Newsies. They're originally gonna raise this one part is the movie part where they're deciding which to do. They're like, should we they give one idea, should we raise the amount to cost to make the paper? No. Should we raise the amount that people have to pay? No, no one's gonna buy it. Should we raise the amount the Newsies have to pay to get the papers? And then someone says that's a good idea. Well, one person's like, no, it's not a good idea. They will have a problem. Most museums are poor. They're not going to be able to pay 65 cents more, like 10, 15 cents more than they're already paying. Yeah, and you should be surprised how back then 55 cents could get you a lot. 65 cents can get you a lot. I'm just saying that. Um, the world, and then the next song will be it's also bottom line is also talking about how how they need to make more profit. Obviously, I said that, and it's like just like a doggy world. Like if you can't afford to make the money, get the papers, and you don't afford to, you can't basically shouldn't be do it alive. Is what bottom line is supposed to be about. The world will know, which is the song comes about two songs after the two songs after where bottom line, and that's about them talking about how they're gonna basically go on strike and and try to get their movement on the front page paper to explain the atrocities that are going on at this reformatory that are going on with Bush Pulitzer, but he's making raising the thing, and it's just like it's talking about how this is it's gonna end with our demands being met and us being given the respect we deserve. Um, my favorite song is actually up next, and it's called "Seize the Day," and it's emotional, it's gritty, it's raw. It's one of those. It's those great songs, and it's basically it's at this point in the musical and in actual history, they needed more than just their sector of Newsies. They needed Manhattan, which they have. I think they have Manhattan. They needed Brooklyn, Harlem, Central Park, all these other parts of the places they needed to get on their side. But all of them would go to Brooklyn because the leader of Brooklyn's like the oldest, I guess, newsie in the group and the most wisest, and I don't know. So everyone respects him more than they respect Jack Kelly, a lot more than they respect Jack Kelly. So he needed to get there. And there's a scene where they're all waiting there by the gates before they open up to get the papers, and he says, "So, how did Brooklyn go? Is Brooklyn with us?" One of the group says, "Yeah, Brooklyn. He liked our ideas. So is he with us?" Well, here's how he said it. He said, "If you see Brooklyn, they're with us." And they're like, "What?" Like, well, he wanted to make sure that we wouldn't run away at the first sign of trouble. So we always said, "No, we're not." And then they're like, "Well, at least we still got Harlem." And then they're like, "Whoa, boss! Don't say that so quick. Harlem wants to know what Brooklyn's gonna do." And then they're like, "Okay." And then they go to one more. It's like they said the same thing. It's like, "Okay, if you see this one guy says like, yeah, they're with us. If you see them, yeah, they also want to know what Brooklyn's gonna do. All these other places want to know what Brooklyn's gonna do. Anyways, at one point, they're like, should we just give up the strike and maybe let it go for like 3 days and like a week or so? They're like, no, we can't do that. And the main character, the one who decided that originally was against the strike, but now is for it. It's like can't let them lose hope. They gotta expire them. You need to tell them do a speech, Jack. So he gives them a small speech, and then that guy breaks out the song about calling Seize the Day and how they're gonna have to do something about it. So one of my favorite lines in the song is personally to me is it goes, if I remember correctly, look it up real quick. I think it's Okay. Now it is time to see the day. What is it? Wrongs will be righted if we're united. Let us seize the day. Friends of friendless seize the day. That's definitely not a part of it. Wow, this is not the lyrics I remember. Weird. Okay. There's a line in the musical itself, and it goes like this. Uh, well, I love the part where if we are united, wrongs will be right if we're united. Um, but there's a part there I like, where it says, "Courage is can erase our fears. Courage is when you face your fears. Tell those with power, safe in their tower, that we will not obey." When they're talking, and I think he's directly talking about just Splitzer and William Randolph Hearst. And they even say, there's a part where there's other newsies coming in to take their papers, like that aren't part of the strike, and they go to attack them and say, no, if we attack them, we lose all credibility and no one will listen to us. So they go and try to talk to them, and they're like, listen, Jack thinks it's one of the most inspiring speeches. Listen to me, people. Just Pulitzer thinks we're gutter rats. He's like, oh, now are we? And they're like, no. But if we stab each other in the back, yeah, we are. So listen, none of us complains what we do. What we do, the work is hard. All that we ask is we get a fair deal, a fair price. But we're not given one. We go out there day to day in the hot sun selling papers, and all we ask is a fair deal for that, a fair price, a fair deal. We're not ever given it. To the point where, like, literally there are people that the newspapers hired to beat you up if you're not doing the job. It was like a low-key, like a gangster kind of life back then. Um. Anyways, there's a scene personally, and he says, "Listen, I'm asking you now. For there are children in this city who should be in school and having and playing and having fun, but instead they're working to support themselves and their families. I'm asking you, for their sakes, for every child who's in any factory, um, newspaper business, slaughterhouse in this here city, throw down your papers and join us." And one dude throws down his papers and says, "I'm with you." And then they go to other people are going in to explain to another person in that group why to do it. And one of my favorite lines is after that is at one point where he says, "Now it is time to seize the day. Answer the call and don't delay. Wrongs will be right if we're united." And then Jack Kelly stands and says, um, "Now it's time to seize the day. Proud and proud and divided, we'll conquer the giant, or we'll slay the giant. Judgment Day is here. They will find that there is hell to pay." And obviously they're talking about, what's his name, William Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer. But that's my favorite song. It's literally one of a really brave, like, brazen song. The next song is called "King of New York." This is after they've gotten their picture taken and seized the day by the newspaper dude. And their pages in the front page of that newspaper, and he's buying them all fucking drinks and all Coca-Cola and shit, and like it's kind of like diner and lunch. And they're talking about how after they get their demands will be like the King of New York, or they'll be able to kiss the president's daughter, or do this and do that. It's like, oh, it's a great song. Um, and Santa Fe Reprise is also a good song. It's like right after some hardships happen, and Santa Fe Reprise, this Jack Kelly again thinks about how he wants to go to Santa Fe, but now in one part in the movie, it's different because the movie and musical are different. The movie originally, it's this the guy he meets that he ends up taking him under wing, his brother and him sister that he falls in love with. In the actual musical, or I'm not sure in real life, it was Joseph Pulitzer's daughter, which is a great situation but anyways, and it's basically about, should I go to Santa Fe or should I stay here and possibly have a life with this girl? and get married someday, all that. But my favorite ending happens to be there's this character in the movie, like I say, like kind of like the best friend to Jack Kelly in a way, and he has I'm not sure if he's crippled, but he has a limp, so he walks with a crutch, and he gets kidnapped during the seize the day part, I believe, or gets taken to the reformatory where he's treated so badly, and he's already at like death's door because he's already sick. Um, and in the end, he ends up getting released and was free, like not feeling better. And the warden is brought in a prison wagon, which was the way to transport prisoners back then, which is like a horse and carriage wagon with a barred cell cage and a door and a lock. And they take him out of this one area. He's running in the actual place in handcuffs, not in the cage, but in the shotgun side of the wagon. And he takes him out, and the kid with the crutches is being brought in. It says to him, "I'll have all fun in prison with your buddies. They're gonna love you," something like that. And the police officer's about to close the door. He says, "May I do the honors, sir?" He says, "Certainly, kid." And he just grabs the door and just slams it on the technically not on his face, but like he's right near the door on his face and locks it and says, "Have a nice trip." And everyone just cheers and like that was like a stick it to the man moment. But great musical, definitely go watch it. If you have Disney Plus, you can go watch the movie and the musical for free. Highly recommend it. If you don't have Disney Plus, if you're on Netflix, I believe it's on Netflix still. You can watch it there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also listen to the album on YouTube. I will put either in the link below or somewhere that the album. I don't know. But in the comments, probably I'll put it in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.